Hey, he's got a gun.
It remains a job where every day you put on that uniform, you don't know if you're going home.
Oh. Get down, 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 down!
We lose too many of our first responders every single year.
I was tired of sitting on the couch, you know, just watching things happen.
Show you pain.
Response 501 Ponderosa Drive on a shooting.
We see all these different situations going on out there that involve rifles, and our law enforcement has no protection against that while they're out there trying to protect the community. The Lord just laid it on my heart to start a nonprofit that was going to help rally the community, to help get these vests to our first responders to make sure that they're safe out there. This was born from me being involved in the New Life Church active shooter and also the Planned Parenthood active shooter. And so in both of those situations, those individuals, their intent that day was to kill as many people as they could, and both of them had rifles. So SHIELD616 is a nonprofit based here in Colorado Springs that rallies the community around our first responders. And what we want to do are two different things. One, we want to make sure that our first responders are safe. And so we donate all-day rifle-rated armor to help protect them from whatever threat that they may be coming up against. But two, we want to also serve them. We want them to know that their community is behind them and that we appreciate them and that we see the good work that they're out there doing. So the border-to-border bicycle ride that we do, it's an awesome event, and I think it is a little bit unique. We got first responders and civilians that ride their bicycles over all of Colorado, flat roads, hilly roads, and going over mountain passes. And we do this to raise not only awareness, but it's also a great fundraiser.
There's so much excitement and anticipation to get together and start riding.
Today was good. Today was a good day, 30-something miles. Last year was nuts, 127 miles. So today was a good way to ease into it.
Woo-hoo! It was a short day, but I think it was a good day to get those legs warmed up, and for all those new riders, maybe to get some of those jitters out of the way a little bit. And so we had a short ride from the border to Alamosa, and then that night we did the vest presentation.
So we're very, very grateful that they actually reached out to us, and they're going to be issuing, I believe, 27 vests to our officers, along with command staff. It's extremely helpful with the day and age we live in. You know, these are things that, even though I have basically an office job, I still wear it because I'm still on the street. It's crucial that we have programs like this to help officers and keep safe, so that we can keep the community safe.
We chose this route partially because last year we were very blessed to meet one of their officers, Officer Molly.
It was actually like, wow, not only are we here with this particular department, one of our riders, one of our brother riders, now Steve, is here. His daughter is a police officer for this agency right now.
Well, had an event last year, happened to my daughter. She's a Alamosa police officer, and she got shot. Had her femur shattered, and then her shoulder got shot in the shoulder also, so that just hit me like a ton of bricks. That gave her motivation to want to work hard, because she wanted to beat that projected year that they told her that she was going to have to get recovery, and she beat it by like 4 months. So yeah, so I'm proud of her. I was tired of sitting on the couch, you know, just watching things happen, so I'd heard about this SHIELD616 organization. I wanted to be part of it. This ride, well, if you see us, honk, and just know that we're out there, just being there for the first responders, and just really appreciate what they do, and I just hope everybody just appreciates what they do, because they deal with a lot of stuff that we don't have to deal with.
Officer Dylan Vakoff shot and killed in the line of duty for Arvada PD, and so today I think it's only appropriate. It's our longest day. It's going to be probably our hardest day. Today we're going to be Vakoff strong.
Day 2 was tough. It wasn't the toughest day this year, but day 2 I just knew was going to be gross to start.
It's a little colder, and we're expecting some rain, but it's a lot further.
For day 2, we rode from Alamosa to Buena Vista, and we woke up to fog. And I mean, fog that you were like, is my hand there? and that has its own challenges, but it also made for an awesome opportunity, because when the crowds parted and the fog broke and we saw the mountain range that we were getting ready to climb, it really set the stage for what was a fun day.
Day 2 was our big day as far as mileage. We went from Alamosa all the way up to Buena Vista. And so this is the day where, you know, we just had to tell the guys and the gals, you know what, remember what's on the back of your jersey. Remember those names that we're honoring. I think I had my helmet on.
On each of our jerseys, every year we have the names of first responders who have made the ultimate sacrifices. You know, when the ride first began 8 years ago, that list was obviously small. And unfortunately, this last year, this was my 5th year riding, that list on that jersey has grown exponentially longer. It fills a majority of the back of our uniforms. Despite that being ink on fabric, the weight of that is something you can feel. When you put that on and when you see that on the back there of your fellow riders, you know that you're representing something much bigger than who we are, simply as guys and gals trying to get out and raise some money for a good cause. Those names are the names of people who said, I'll give it all today for my community.
Well, that's the big thing about the ride, is we do this for these names on our back. And so we think about them as we're riding, and it's a special feeling to have these names on our back and honor these guys as we ride.
Every day we try and highlight a first responder, and so our first one was Molly. We were Molly Strong, and on our second day we were Dylan Vakoff Strong from Arvada PD.
Officer Vakoff was fatally shot while responding to the call for duty on September 11, 2022. Officer Vakoff, you are clear for end of watch. Rest easy, Dylan. You and that smile will never be forgotten.
We actually had an Arvada officer riding with us.
I'm riding to represent the Arvada Police Department and to honor Gordon Beasley and Dylan Vakoff, both officers who were murdered in the line of duty. I knew Gordon. He was a super thoughtful guy and was always a smiling face in the hallways. Dylan was in the class in front of me. I got to interact with him more. His reputation was as a positive attitude and a smiling face and just a kind soul. It's been just over 1 year. September 11th, 2022 was Dylan's end of watch. It was shock and disbelief, anger and sadness.
I think it's only appropriate. It's our longest day. It's going to be probably our hardest day. Today we're going to be Vakoff strong. 1, 2, 3! Vakoff strong!
They, especially today, on the long, hard day that we're riding today, I chose to ride by myself quite a bit and just kind of reflect on who Dylan and Gordon were. So I have both Gordon and Dylan's end of watch coins that were created for the families and for the police department through SHIELD616. And it's just a reminder of why I'm here. Creating a fundraiser like this to build not just awareness, but to raise funds so that SHIELD616 can carry out their mission of providing rifle-rated armor to officers and first responders, so that they have a fighting chance against the evil that they're facing.
You haven't had fun until you've had freezing cold water filled with road grit blasted into your face.
So when you're fighting today, and you are going to be fighting today, remember those names, okay? Deputy Andrew Perry, El Paso County. So on three, we're going to be El Paso County strong.
This is not ideal, and would definitely be the coldest, wettest day in 8 years of doing this ride.
So day 3, again, these riders are just getting done with doing, a century ride the day before and going from Buena Vista up to Frisco. That's a serious ride.
All right, Gary, lead them out of here.
It was pretty fun riding out of the church into the, kind of like the dome or where we were going. It was pretty cool.
It was in the high 30s and it was pouring cats and dogs. Unfortunately, you don't have a windshield on a bike. So when you're riding in a group like this, everything that the rider in front of you is riding through gets whisked up on that tire and spit right in your face. So you haven't had fun until you've had freezing cold water filled with road grit blasted into your face and you occasionally have to spit it out as you ride. That was one of the coldest days we've ever experienced.
A little wet this morning, but we were making it through it.
A little worse for the wear, but kind of wet. Got sand in my teeth. My legs feel like they're 100 pounds each, but we'll make it. It's fun.
Many people commented, I never thought gas station pizza could taste so good. So that gives you an idea of the low we had hit as far as our expectations.
11,000 feet. Me, you, and SHIELD616.
Oh, that was quite the adventure. We saw rain, we saw sun, I saw some snow. I did a full wardrobe change in the middle of it because everything was soaked. I got too hot, I got too cold, but it was awesome. It was a great ride.
So when you're fighting today, and you are going to be fighting today, remember those names, okay? Deputy Andrew Perry, El Paso County. So on three, we're going to be El Paso County strong. 1, 2, 3! El Paso County strong! So day 3, we were Peary strong for El Paso County Deputy Andrew Perry, who was shot and killed in the line of duty right here.
Going a lot of training events and a lot of missions together, and he was always one of the first persons to welcome me with a big hug every time we went to briefing or before an op. He's always super pumped to see me, and we had just a good friendship.
Andrew was the kind of guy that always did everything right and was always thinking of others. And even when he went on that call where he lost his life to a domestic violence call, he went there to try to help and went there to try to, make a difference in people's lives when they're having the worst day ever.
Deputy Peary, was a cop's cop. Obviously, that's a term. Obviously he was a deputy, but just a man that knew what he was doing, and a man that knew why he was doing what he was doing, and it was just for the benefit of the community, and just an absolute great person. It was last year when we were actually doing our Idaho bike ride, and we were literally on the border of Montana. We had ridden across the whole state, had a great time, and my phone was just erupting, and I looked to see who it was, and it was one of my old police partners, and I knew something had to be going on for him to keep calling like that. And when I got the message that he had passed, it just, you're just kind of raw, you're just kind of numb, and you're just kind of there, and it doesn't kind of really matter what you're doing at that point. You're just kind of, you have just a great sense of defeat and hurt and a burden. This bike ride, though it's a big component, it's just a small little bit of the overall of what SHIELD616 does all over the country.
Get it. We got this today.
I need to get on this bike to do this ride and be with my team. But the only way I'm going out in that rain and these cold temperatures is if I think I'm going to help somebody.
We want to get these vests out there so that we're not having to add names to the back of our jerseys, so we're not having to make end of watch challenge coins. We want them to be safe out there while they're doing this job. Fountain Officer Julian Becerra was killed in the line of duty, and he is the top name on our jersey. So today we're going to be Fountain Police Strong.
Ready for the last day, ready for day 5, and ready to get this done.
It was cool the next morning to have Grand County Sheriff come back out again and escort us out of town.
This morning, we're really looking forward to riding. Just temperatures are a little cool to start, so we're going to delay just a little bit. But like you said, the sun is out, and it's going to be a warm, beautiful ride.
Day 4, we wake up and it's sunny and it's clear, and Lake Dillon is sparkling as we ride by it.
Day 2 with the cold, day 3 with the cold and the rain, and the terrain in Fremont Pass had been so brutal. By the time day 4 got there, I could have been climbing all day, and I'd have just been happy because I wasn't wet and the sun was out, and it was a beautiful Colorado day.
Having my family show up is incomparable. Trying to get my wife to pull the kids out of school is nearly impossible, but she did for that. That says something right there. They had the poster boards out. Somehow my son crawled through the sunroof and was doing it from the roof of the car.
I want to give a huge shout out to our volunteers, for them to be along that road and just there for every single rider, whatever they need, and also just to be there to be a smiling face, to be clapping hands, cheering voices, and just really rallying them and rooting for them and telling them they can do it and we're here with them. So on this day, we honored Fountain Officer Becerra, who was also killed in the line of duty. He is the top name on our jersey. Again, he was Fountain Police Officer, and so today we're going to be Fountain Police Strong. 1, 2, 3! Fountain PD Strong!
I was fortunate enough that Julian Becerra's former police chief, Chris Heber, a good friend of mine, sat down and talked to me and really talked to me about the kind of man Julian was, the kind of father he was, the kind of officer he was, the way he just kind of did things right. I always think about this picture that was released, publicly by his family. And Julian with his son. And when you see a moment like this, and you know that those are the kind of things that these first responders that give the ultimate sacrifice to protect our community, these are the kind of opportunities that they'll miss out on. When you have the opportunity to come out and support them, ride across such a beautiful state, even when it starts to hurt and your legs are hurting and the hills are steep, it gives you a perspective that you still get to do these things. So that's an honor, and it's an honor to ride with the names on the back of our jersey.
And knowing we're riding for him today, it makes the climbs a little bit easier, because you know that at least as a group, we're doing something special for him and his family.
I mean, just when it was tough going up the mountain, tough on the road, just sink in and think about him, and we're here to honor him for sure.
4 days of good riding, so a little sore, but ready for the last day, ready for day 5, and ready to get this done.
On 3, we're going to do Grand County Strong. Raise a hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3! Grand County Strong! Coming into our last day from Kremlin all the way up to the Wyoming border, and it was cool the next morning to have Grand County Sheriff come back out again and escort us out of town. Just getting excited and motivated, not only knowing that this is our last day and our end is in sight, but just to have them out there to cheer us on and to kind of help kickstart and get everybody a little extra pumped. It was pretty cool.
They're a great bunch, and it's just, we're really blessed to have them, come through. We're glad they came through our camp.
It's pretty dang awesome. It's a grueling 5 days, very, very physically and mentally demanding, but at the end is one of the best feelings of accomplishment I've experienced in all the type of physical activities I've ever done.
You get a better angle this way.
That means more than the ride. The ride is special. It's a sense of accomplishment, but knowing that there's people out there that are watching and donating and raising money for this organization, that means more than anything.
Every year it is different, but every year also it's consistent, and it's consistent in helping protect our first responders. It's consistent in helping support our first responders and rallying around them.
The gear is always important, and the gear does make a difference, whether it boosts a first responder's confidence responding to a dangerous situation, or it actually will get to that point where this vest saved the life and we donated this on this ride. Either way, it's important. We're making a difference in first responders' lives.